Have you ever truly considered what unfolds within your body, mind, and spirit when you cease to engage in one of life's most intimate, natural, and potent acts, masturbation, during your golden years? Many elders were raised in a time when sexual expression, particularly in solitude, was spoken of in hushed tones, disapproved of, or even shamed. As the years go by, this practice often fades quietly into the background, dismissed due to health shifts, cultural conditioning, or a subtle loss of connection to oneself. But here's a truth seldom voiced by physicians. Abstaining from sexual self-intimacy after 60 can do more than dampen desire. It can quietly erode your overall health. This isn't about indulgence. It's about vitality, about circulation, hormones, sleep, self-esteem, prostate integrity, emotional balance, and yes, the grace of aging. Before we delve deeper, if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and tap that button and turn on notifications so you never miss another personalized health insight. If you find value in this video, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 so I continue improving what I bring to you. First, the body reacts to what it no longer receives. As we age, many bodily functions decline, not solely due to time, but due to neglect. Just as muscles weaken without use and joints stiffen without motion, our sexual systems follow suit. When self-pleasure comes to a halt, blood circulation to the pelvic region diminishes sharply. This drop in flow can result in discomfort, decreased sensitivity, and for men, a heightened risk of prostate complications. Tissues that once reacted with ease begin to weaken, losing elasticity, becoming less responsive, and sometimes even painful. For women, symptoms like vaginal dryness, irritation, or an overall disconnection from the body may intensify. What often astonishes older adults is how swiftly these physical changes take root. Just a few months without stimulation, and the body begins to forget what it once instinctively knew. Unlike youth, restoration in later years requires more time and patience. A consistent habit of masturbation, once or twice weekly, preserves flexibility, sensation, and pelvic vitality. It's a practice of self-momentum that prevents stagnation, discomfort, and future health risks. This isn't about chasing arousal or forcing what no longer flows naturally. It's about sustaining functionality, avoiding needless suffering, and honoring a fundamental design of the human body. You wouldn't give up brushing your teeth just because you're older, so why neglect another vital area of wellness? Yet the physical aspect is only one side of the story. What happens emotionally when you no longer feel attuned to your own pleasure? That's where things turn deeply personal and powerful. If you're still here and finding value in these truths, comment number 1 below to let me know you're with me. Now, let's move to our second point. Second, the emotional weight of disconnection. When older adults see self-pleasure, it's not merely a physical shift, it's emotional and psychological as well. Over time, many elders begin to feel estranged from their bodies, as though they are caretakers rather than inhabitants. This emotional separation tends to appear gradually, a waning interest in one's appearance, a shrinking sense of worth, or even a subtle sense of invisibility. What once offered comfort, joy, or release becomes neglected or abandoned. Masturbation, while highly personal, is also deeply affirming. It affirms that your body is still your own, that you remain capable of sensation, of choice, of indulging in something meant solely for your own delight. For many older individuals, this single act revives a sense of agency and identity often dulled by aging. It's not about gratification alone. It's about emotional stability, self-trust, and reconnection with the inner self. Without this intimate ritual, loneliness can deepen, anxiety may build silently, and emotional numbness can replace what was once a vibrant inner landscape. This shift can even reshape how you relate to others. There's less warmth, less spontaneity, less shared joy. But here lies a profound truth that many don't recognize until it's nearly too late. When you disconnect from yourself intimately, you slowly start disconnecting from the world around you. And as you'll soon learn, this emotional distance doesn't remain in the heart. It spreads to the body, especially to one vital gland rarely discussed until problems arise: Third, prostate health thrives on activity. For aging men, few aspects of health are as quietly crucial as the prostate. This tiny gland supports both sexual and urinary functions, yet it's often overlooked until trouble emerges. What many don't know is that regular ejaculation, whether through intimacy or solo touch, is not merely pleasurable, it's protective. When a man completely stops masturbating, the prostate can grow stagnant. Fluid buildup can occur, leading to what's known as prostate congestion, causing discomfort, pressure, and eventually increasing the risk of inflammation or infection. Ejaculation keeps the prostate functioning, flushes out old fluid, and promotes blood flow to the area. Without it, the gland may enlarge, a condition called benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, which disrupts urination and may result in nighttime trips to the bathroom or require medical procedures. This isn't speculation, it's backed by decades of clinical observation. Maintaining sexual activity, even privately, helps the prostate stay healthy and resilient. Ignoring this care is not modesty, it's missing a chance at prevention. You don't need to rely on pills or surgery as your first option. Something as simple as routine self-pleasure can serve as a proactive, natural way to safeguard this crucial gland. But the rewards of self-pleasure in later life go beyond organ function. What if I told you that this small act also shapes your brain chemistry, affecting your sleep, your emotions, and even your mental clarity? If you're still watching and finding this meaningful, drop a number 1 in the comments to show you're still with me. Now let's continue to point 4. Fourth, hormones and brain chemistry in balance. One of the most underappreciated benefits of masturbation in older age is its profound influence on hormonal balance and neurological health. When your body is stimulated and reaches climax, your brain releases a surge of natural chemicals, dopamine, oxytocin, endorphins, and prolactin. These aren't merely pleasure hormones. They regulate mood, promote restful sleep, soothe anxiety, and even boost immunity. At a stage in life where insomnia, low mood, and stress are more common, these natural compounds become essential tools for vitality. Dopamine inspires motivation and emotional engagement. Oxytocin creates a calm, connected state, even in solitude. Endorphins alleviate pain and clear the mind. Prolactin fosters restful sleep and cell renewal. All of this comes from a private act, one that requires no prescription, no insurance, no doctor's note. The absence of this hormonal rhythm can slowly wear down emotional resilience. Without it, you may feel more tense, more irritable, or emotionally distant. Sleep grows elusive. Stress overstays its welcome. And with time, this imbalance may erode memory, concentration, and your overall vitality. Masturbation isn't just a sensual act, it's a neurochemical reset. It gives your brain the signals it craves to keep you calm, connected, and fully alive. And if the brain benefits from this intimate release, what about your soul, your sense of dignity, of being lovingly present in your own body? That's where we're headed next. Fifth, touch is essential, even your own. As we grow older, physical affection becomes scarcer. Hugs dwindle, intimacy may wane, and some even begin to shy away from their own bodies. This withdrawal from touch, even self-touch, can leave a deep emotional void, one that impacts not only mental but physical well-being. In its purest form, masturbation is a way to stay attuned to your body. It is an act of tenderness, a quiet reminder that you are still vibrant, still deserving of comfort, still fully capable of sensation. Many elders unconsciously start treating their bodies like aging machines to be maintained instead of homes to be cherished. They go through motions, washing, dressing, taking medications, without ever engaging their body with affection or care. Over time, this disconnect can lead to emotional numbness or even estrangement from the very body that has served them for decades. Self-touch changes that. It invites you to slow down, to tune in, to experience not from duty but from compassion. Masturbation becomes something deeper than sexual. It becomes sacred, a quiet affirmation. I am still present. I still have worth. I still belong to myself. Reclaiming the act of touch can restore confidence and ease the loneliness that often comes with aging. While this personal connection is deeply powerful, there's also a quieter, less discussed benefit of self-pleasure in later years. It allows you to preserve a sense of closeness and autonomy even when relationships shift or fade. Let's explore that next. 6. Intimacy doesn't vanish when relationships do. As we grow older, our relationships naturally change. Some lose a partner to illness or time. Others experience emotional distance in long-term marriages. And many navigate aging and retirement alone, without the steady presence of a partner. In these times, it's easy to believe that intimacy, once vivid and alive, has simply ended. But intimacy doesn't require another person. It begins within. Masturbation helps older adults stay connected to their own longing, tenderness, and emotional depth, regardless of relationship status. Rather than replacing a partner, self-intimacy reflects self-reliance. It's a way of reclaiming closeness on your own terms. It reminds your spirit that your ability to feel warmth, pleasure, and connection didn't leave when another person did. It still lives inside you. This kind of personal connection becomes vital when physical or emotional closeness with others is out of reach, and helps preserve emotional balance and personal agency. It lessens the solitude that can settle in during long, quiet evenings, and most importantly, it reminds you that you are still whole, still human, still capable of gentleness and joy, even without a partner by your side. Though this emotional resilience is deeply healing, many older adults still carry unwarranted guilt or shame around the topic. It's time to confront that outdated burden because the harm it causes runs deeper than many realize. What happens when shame is replaced with self-acceptance? The answer could reshape how you experience aging. 7. Shame must be released. Many older adults were raised in an era where sexuality, especially self-pleasure, was cloaked in silence, judgment, and guilt. Families, religion, and society often framed masturbation as immoral, inappropriate, or dirty, especially as one aged. Over time, those views became internalized, quietly shaping how seniors feel about their bodies. But here's the truth. That shame isn't yours to carry anymore. It was passed down to you, and you have every right to let it go. Masturbation is not weakness, nor is it failure. It's a normal, healthy, and even therapeutic expression of being human. Letting go of decades of shame is among the most liberating gifts you can give yourself in later life. When you stop labeling self-pleasure as wrong, you begin to reclaim ownership of your physical and emotional health. What replaces shame is not just self-acceptance, but confidence, peace, and relief. When you recognize that your body still deserves care, comfort, and delight, you begin to treat yourself differently. You carry yourself with greater dignity. You rest more peacefully. You live with greater ease. Letting go of shame creates space for self-care, and nothing fosters that care better than knowing how to approach it with mindfulness, gentleness, and safety. That's why this next part is crucial. It's not just about why, but how to nurture yourself in a healthy, comforting way. 8 practical tips for safe, healthy self-intimacy. For older adults, self-pleasure should be approached like any self-care routine, with respect, patience, and comfort. Your body has changed, and that's a natural part of life. What once felt good may now feel different, and that's okay. The goal isn't performance, it's presence. Start by choosing a quiet, private space where you can relax. Allow yourself the freedom to explore without expectations. There's no need to rush. Let this be your time, free of judgment and distraction. Lubrication can make a big difference, especially if you're dealing with dryness or aging skin. Lubricants ease friction, reduce irritation, and can heighten sensation. Try a few types until you find what works best for you. For men, take your time with stimulation. There's no pressure to reach a goal. For women, gentle touch and awareness of sensitive areas can reawaken forgotten feelings. Pay attention to how your body responds before, during, and after. Do you feel calmer, more grounded, more connected to yourself? These emotional shifts are as important as the physical ones. There's nothing shameful about self-intimacy. It's a quiet act of strength and awareness. As with any wellness practice, consistency matters more than intensity. Gentle, regular self-connection can support mood, sleep, circulation, and self-worth. Now that you know how to do this in a safe, affirming way, what happens if you continue to ignore this part of your well-being? The long-term effects may surprise you. A final word, the most personal form of self-care. At this meaningful stage of life, rich in wisdom, memory, and self-awareness, you've likely discovered this truth. Aging isn't decline. It's rediscovery. You are not fading. You're transforming. And one of the most tender yet overlooked aspects of that transformation is your relationship with your own body. For many older adults, the topic of masturbation still carries traces of embarrassment or a belief that it no longer fits in this phase of life. But what if it does? What if this is exactly the time to reconnect, not for performance or validation, but for healing, presence, and peace? Though your body may have changed, it still belongs to you. It still responds to love. It still welcomes care. It still thrives with gentle attention. Touch, in all its forms, is a human need, and when it comes from you, it's more than physical. It's spiritual, emotional. It tells your heart, you are still here. You still matter. Masturbation at this stage is not shameful. It's one of the most sacred forms of self-care available. It promotes circulation, supports prostate and pelvic health, balances hormones and mood, eases loneliness, enhances sleep, and reminds you you're still connected to your desire, yourself, your identity. Even in solitude, you can feel alive, powerful, and whole. If no one's ever said this to you before, hear it now. You don't need permission to be close to yourself. You don't have to apologize for being human. You don't have to bear inherited shame that silences your truth. You deserve to feel. You deserve to rest without emptiness. You deserve to see in the mirror someone still worth loving, touching, and honoring. The world often overlooks the quiet rituals, the slow breath, the closed door, the moment when you offer yourself what no one else can. Yet in that pause, you may find something sacred, a reconnection, a tenderness, a spark. So as you move forward, remember this truth. Masturbation is not something to hide from, fear, or outgrow. It's your right, your quiet joy, your affirmation that you are still fully alive. You are not merely existing, you are still becoming. Freely, deeply, and unapologetically. Your journey is still unfolding, your body is still listening, and each time you care for it with presence, with grace, you affirm your life on your terms. And that, above all, is the greatest act of dignity. These reflections are here to encourage you to live fully and truthfully. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect. What's one insight you've gained, and how might you apply it in your life? Let's walk this path together, supporting each other in reclaiming these forgotten truths.